Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another outstanding episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye Spinach. She's the tranquil dart of Ringside Society, Delaware's greatest American hero. And whenever he goes to Taco Bell, he asks for a chief burrito because he loves the combination of chicken and beef. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And in the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. 3 continents down, 3 more to go. No cap, straight facts, the worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it is not about us. See, we have a special guest tonight. This man actually is doing great things, and it's just the beginning of his career. He actually is a graduate of the Nightmare Factory Camp 6. I don't know a cool way to put it. I don't know if to put up double threes like Larry Bird and the Celtics or a 5 and a 1, but you get the picture. He's also participated in TNA's Gut Check, and he also formed an undefeated tag team with the one and only Jake Christ. And if you're from the Midwest, you know that name very well. Everybody, welcome to the show, the mold breaker, Justin PacMan Xavier.
Woo! Thank you for having me. I need you to come with me like everywhere I go and just introduce me like that.
I keep getting that a lot. I don't know, man. I try. I always tell people I put in a little bit of Justin Roberts, a little bit of Road Dogg, and just yell and hope I sound good, man.
That's great, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, no problem, man. You know, it's funny when I first saw, because I don't know if you've been watching us or seen our record, but we've actually had a lot of people from the Nightmare Factory, Diamond Sheik, the Renegade Twins. We've had the Bodyguard Austin Green, TSF. So many names, so many great men and women that we've met. And when I looked at the Nightmare Factory student showcase, I always watch the student showcase. I'm a bit behind, but I'm catching up. And when I started watching, when I looked at Student Showcase 6, I'm like, wait a minute, Justin Xavier versus Jimbo. Okay. Justin, and then I don't know if you noticed, but there's another Justin Xavier, Justin D. Xavier. Yes. So I'm like, oh snap. Oh snap. JDX is wrestling. Okay. But then when I saw, I was like, wait a minute, that's not JDX. But the thing is, although you weren't JDX, you were just as awesome. Because I saw your moves, and I was like, yo, this kid's got it, man. I mean, you know, this man is not playing. You know, hence the reason why we gave him that song, you know, Game On by Waka Flocka and Good Charlotte. Because, yes, he may have the Pac-Man tights on, and he may be nicknamed Pac-Man. He loves a great game of Pac-Man. He's not one to be played with. So I gotta say, man, you're definitely on your way.
Thank you, man. It's funny about the JDX. We actually finally met like a month ago. We were on the same show. We were just talking, and someone was like, Justin, and we like both looked over at the same time, and they're like, oh, I mean Xavier, and then we both looked over again at the same time. It was funny. Like it's confusing, but yeah, it's
you
funny.
You guys should have done like the Spider-Man, but like when he met the other imposter. Oh, that would have been cool, man. But I gotta say, man, you're both equally awesome. And like I said, I mean, I don't know if the wrestling world is ready, but whether they're ready or not, it's a coming. But I gotta ask you, man. You know, I know me ask, you know, 90% of our guests that we have on the show, because everybody has a story. How did it all start for you? How did you become a fan of professional wrestling?
Man, I remember I'd go to my dad's like every Thursday and every other weekend, and we were watching, just flipping through channels, and there was an episode of TNA, and it was Rockstar Spud and EC3, and the loser got their hair shaved. And I remember watching it, and I was like, this is crazy, because I don't remember who lost specifically, but I just remember someone was getting their hair cut, and there's blood everywhere, and it was just insane. And ever since that very first episode I watched of TNA, I've been hooked ever since. I actually I watched this. I was like 13. And I watched TNA for like a year straight before ever knowing what WWE was. So
Wow, that's cool. That's crazy. I've never met anybody that's watched TNA straight before WB. Normally, the average fan, it's WB first, and then they eventually branch off into like Impact or Ring of Honor, and eventually the Indies and so on. We've hardly had anybody that's been here that said they started, the alternative route as opposed to WB. But that's cool though.
Yeah,
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I found out about WWE is I think I was in like Target, and they had WrestleMania 31 on like the shelf, and I bought it, and I was like, dude, holy shit, there's 70,000 people, and then I realized I was like, oh, okay, like yeah. So yeah, I was a little behind with the program, but I got there eventually.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah. So, who are some of your favorites you enjoyed, watching growing up?
I'd say definitely AJ Styles. He was the man. Um, gosh, as I started to get more into wrestling, I watched a lot of Japanese wrestling. I'm a big fan of obviously like Kenny Omega, but then I started watching a
Okay.
lot of older wrestling. I'm a big Ricky Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat's really good. Then I started getting into a lot of technical wrestling. So obviously Brian Danielson's, the Nigel McGuinness's of the wrestling world. I love wrestling, but I'd say those are like the four that really like stand out for me.
Wow, that's cool. So, have
Yeah.
you ever gotten to meet any of them in person, or you've only been able to watch them like at shows or on TV?
I haven't met any of them yet in person. Not at all. I'm doing an EC3 seminar Friday, so that's cool. The first ever match I saw, I get to take a seminar from him, so that's pretty cool. But
Wow,
I've never met any of those guys.
that's pretty awesome. I've never met anybody from the first wrestling match I watched, which was Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake versus Zeus and Macho Man. I mean, obviously Zeus and Macho Man, they're no longer with us. They passed away. R.I.P. to them. But I've been close to Brutus Beefcake. Like he was like a few feet away from me. It was at a convention, but I didn't go over to talk to him because he was kind of busy and whatnot. But yeah, it's always that crazy feeling like meeting somebody that was in that first match or that you actually grew up watching, and it's just so different.
Yeah, especially I was big into like Bullet Club when I was in high school. So going down to Atlanta and getting to, meet Cody and then see him, I was just like, wow, holy shit! Like it was pretty surreal. So
So were you in high school? So were you one of the guys that were like giving people the too sweet
oh,
if they
absolutely.
had on like the same Bullet Club shirt?
Oh, absolutely. In the hallways, man, we got in trouble for wearing a Bullet Club shirt to school, obviously, which was not smart
What?
to begin with. But me and my buddies would always pass each other, give them the too sweet. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's funny how wrestling, is a culture within itself because I remembered one time, like when I have a Bullet Club shirt and I'd see somebody else wearing it. I wouldn't know this person from a can of paint. First time ever meeting a random person, and I would just throw up the too sweet and then too sweet them, and then we're gone. It's just crazy how wrestling culture could be.
Yeah, absolutely. It brings so many people together, like especially wrestling and actually doing it now. Like I've met so many people that I would have never ever gotten the chance to meet if I'd never been involved with this. So it's awesome, man.
So I gotta ask you, man. So my next question is, you're going to the shows, you're tuning in every week, you're watching your favorites. How did your um, journey go from, Justin Xavier, the fan, to Justin PacMan Xavier, pro wrestler?
Me and my little brother were living with my grandma at the time, and she lived on like the top floor of these like condo apartments, whatever you want to call them. And we started watching SmackDown after we found out about WWE. So we were just big into watching like Thursday. It was on Thursdays at the time. So it was Thursday night SmackDown. We'd be wrestling, slamming each other on the ground, getting noise complaints because everyone below us hated us because it was like 11 o'clock at night. Uh, Eventually, we got a trampoline, so then we'd start, wrestling on the trampoline, and then it kind of just escalated from there. You're jumping off the deck, jumping off the house, all kind of crazy shit. But eventually we kind of just got to the point where I graduated high school when I was 17, and then the day I turned 18, I started just emailing like a list of wrestling schools that were close to me.
Okay, that's cool. So, did your brother ever end up joining, or did he just like stay a fan?
He's joined. He's trained a little bit. He's been a referee. I actually had some friends that have wrestled in the backyard with me. One's name's Party Mike. The other one's Jaden Jet. Um, we all kind of came up together, wrestled in the backyard, and they're both fully trained on the independents, doing their thing. Each of them respectively are killing it too. So we've had a couple people from the backyard make it to the independent scene.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you could do us a solid, because like I said, we don't care if you had one match or 1,000 matches. The fact that you actually went into the ring and you put on a show for us, we want to hear from you. So I know you're a busy man, Justin, but if you could actually give us the names of some of those people that y'all came up with, we would definitely be grateful for it, and we will definitely make it happen like a captain with them having them on the show as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you went to the Nightmare. So the Nightmare Factory. What was like? How did that happen? Like, email them and they just like were like, okay, you're in. It's going to be 3 months intense training, or did you have to wait a bit?
I think I was at the time I was going to college, and I just got done doing a show at IWA Mid South, like right before IWA Mid South got shut down. And I was on my way home from that show. It was like 1 a.m, and I saw an Instagram post come across from the Nightmare Factory, and it said they were like accepting spots for like Camp 6. And it was like a year and a half ago. My memory's terrible, but I'm like 90% sure I emailed them and like just sent them my stuff, and they're pretty much like, yeah, here's the rundown. And it was pretty straightforward. It all happened pretty quickly. I only had to wait like 2 or 3 months before it started.
Oh, that's awesome, man! And y'all did. I just got to say congratulations. You went 3 months, 3 months of intense training, 12 weeks of intense training. I know I've definitely heard that people have actually started with a class of how many, and then the graduating class was like so little bit, but you stuck it out, and you graduated and you got that head nod, that handshake from your coaches. I said, hey, congratulations, you are officially a professional wrestler. You can say you're an alumni of this school, and now you can go ahead and take bookings all over the country, all over the world as well. But of course, there's that, what I like to call the proving ground of Nightmare Factory, the student showcase. And you had to go up against the only lieutenant colonel in professional wrestling, and I hope we can have him on here too, because me being a veteran and him being in the military, I like to have one of my brothers in arms as well on here too. Jimbo, if you're watching, check that DM, man. We want to talk to you. But you had to go up against Jimbo, and you were pretty much at a disadvantage because he had the size and everything and the brute force. But when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, geez, this guy's gonna be in trouble, man." Jimbo looks like he's no joke. I mean, yeah, he might be slow, but I feel. But then you were like fighting back. You weren't taking no lefts, and you got the win, and you were hella impressive too. So, man, like, what was going through your mind when you had that match? Were you nervous? Or were you like confident, like, yeah, I had some of the best training for the last 12 weeks. I got this. Or was it a mixture of both?
It's kind of always the same with like every show. I always have those nerves before like any time I perform. But once I get in the ring, it all goes away. I just feel really confident in myself. It feels right.
That's cool, man. And I gotta say, you're hella impressive, man. Like that standing shooting star press that you did. You didn't pin him with that, but you got him when he tried to go into he tried to close that into the corner, and you rolled him up, and he was not happy about that. And you have one of the best, I don't know what to call it, but I guess you call it turnbuckle stepping, where you actually just like 1, 2, 3 up those you do like a 1, 2, 3 step up the turnbuckle pads, and then you just start flying. I'm like, wow, this guy's gonna go places, man. You're actually, something, you're actually part of a dream match I want to see now. Really? And I'm gonna ask this question a bit later on. I want to see, and I can see this right now on a flyer, maybe even in lights, Justin PacMan Xavier going up against Jack Cartwheel. I would definitely like to see that. I would definitely pay good money to see that match.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's something. Let me keep grinding. Let me get going. I think it's something that's definitely realistic. I'd say within the next year. Absolutely. Hell, I could do it now too. So
Yeah, yeah, we've actually had him on the show. Great guy as
yeah.
well. That's definitely a match I would not mind seeing. So, you actually enjoy, they call you Pac-Man because you actually enjoy the game
Oh,
Pac-Man, which
yes.
is, it's an age-old classic. My aunt used to rush home from work to play Pac-Man, and it's a pretty fun game, you know. Um, what about Pac-Man? Like, because like I said, we all have our favorite video games. One of my all-time favorites is Double Dragon. Like, I am a huge fan of that game. But what about Pac-Man? Like, actually, um, what is it about Pac-Man that you like? And also, does it actually, like, aside from your ring gear, aside from your nickname, is there anything you've taken from Pac-Man and actually incorporated into your pro wrestling career, pro wrestling move set, etc.?
That's a very good question. I have like this plug and play game when I was a kid, like the ones you can just plug into the TV with like the three colors, like the white, the yellow, and the red. And one of the games was Pac-Man on there, and I always just started playing it, and I always loved the game. I just always loved how like elusive he was. There's always these ghosts chasing him, especially when you have championships. There's people chasing you. You got a target on your back, but somehow he'd always just figure a way to squeeze through, and just he was so elusive. So I really like. I just love that style of wrestling, like the elusiveness of like a Will Ospreay or a Leo Rush, for example. Just using your strengths, playing into your strengths. I'm very athletic, so like I try to play into that and just try to be as elusive as possible and try to get out. It's like you get in these dire situations and you think it's over, then all of a sudden somehow he gets a power pellet, and then that's he just keeps going. So I really try to include that into wrestling and into my persona.
Wow, that's cool, man. That's a definitely cool way to look at Pac-Man. Aside from him like eating up the bad guys, eating up the competition, that's a real good way to look at it. To look at it as well too. So, in regards to like pro wrestling, you've also had some success as a tag team wrestler. You've teamed up with the one and only Jake Christ, who I believe is actually a former Impact Wrestling X Division champion, and you
Yes.
guys been having a pretty great run. So what is it like teaming with one third of or one fourth of Ohio is for Killers? Um, what was it like teaming up with a veteran for a tag team?
It's something I've like just incredibly grateful for. I mean, I've been able to go to him for advice. He's always given me great advice, plenty of advice. He's never shied away from helping me as well as a bunch of other people, man. And it's just he's incredible. He's amazing. It's something like if you don't know, like you just have to watch him, and it's just like wow, like this. It's like he's the guy. Um, like I said, he's an incredible guy, great performer, tons of knowledge. I've just been really grateful to be able to sit under his learning tree and take things away from what he's been able to teach me.
Well, and you guys even won tag team titles together, so that shows that tag team is definitely working. So, you know, um, speaking of tag teams, recently, there have been. I know. Obviously, you and Jake, y'all want to, win all the tag team. Well, it doesn't matter whether it's in, the Indies, Impact, AEW, WWE. If you got it, we want it. We're gonna have it. But recently there's been another kind of title that's been popping up. Ring of Honor has it. AEW has it. AAA and CMLL, I believe, have it. New Japan Pro Wrestling has it, and rumor has it. WB rumor, for those of you watching and listening. Rumor. Don't crucify Remy. I mean, I'm just saying it. Rumor. WB is actually thinking about activating this particular title, and it's called the Six Man or the Trios title. So, if you and Jake were going after those titles, who would be your third man to go after those titles?
That's a very good question. We could have a new version of OVE, maybe. Maybe add, somebody else to that mix, or we can take it a whole nother direction, and I could have, the guys I came up with in the backyard. It could be me, Party Mike, and Jaden Jett. Maybe there's a trio that can win a 6-man tag team championship somewhere. So it's a very good question.
Cool. Yeah, those 6-man titles, they're gaining a lot of popularity. I mean, and it's funny because I always said that would be a cool, that'd be a cool concept to have, like a 6-man title. And NWA had them before, and they deactivated them. I'm like, that would be a nice spin on something that's unique, something that would be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got 2 more questions before I pass over to Rob. I know Rob has a couple of questions for you as well. So my second to last question, you're fresh into the business right now, and like I said, you are hella impressive, man. I know we're definitely gonna see great things from you in the near future. When we see you doing your thing in Japan, Europe, all over the country, we'll be like, "Yep, we had that man on our show, and we are very proud of him." Who are some of your opponents, your top 5 that you want to wrestle in the very near future as a solo competitor, like, or even tag team? Like, they could be from anywhere, like AEW, WWE, the Indies, Impact. Doesn't matter. Wrestling's predictable. It could happen.
Yeah, I'd say like the number 1 dream match out of anybody is obviously it'd be AJ Styles. It has to be him, hands down. That's a dream match. I'd say on the independent scene, man, there's so many great people. There's so many very talented people that I could just love to be able to wrestle, be able to learn from, be able to just fucking kill it. I'd say definitely Jordan Oliver is someone who I've followed, especially when I was in high school. Followed him on the independents, and to see what he's been doing now, especially, so he's killing it, man. So I think Jordan Oliver would be a really cool full circle moment for me, someone who I've watched in high school to now that I'm actually performing. 3 more.
Cool.
Definitely Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan. He's the GOAT. I think he's the GOAT, honestly. Out of anybody, he's the GOAT. Jake Christ, man. Jake Christ, my own tag team partner. I'd love to wrestle Jake Christ. I think I'm ready, man. I'd love to test myself against the master himself. The last one, anybody. Probably Cody Rhodes.
Okay, wow. Teacher versus student. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I definitely hope you get to wrestle all those men. And best believe when we see that, we'll be like, yes, goal achieved, man. The man's doing his thing. He's hitting. He's making it. He's making his goals and whatnot. I believe you could do it, man. I believe you could. You already got the 2 belts with you, so trust me. I believe you could do it, man. You were very impressive in that student showcase. So my last question, man. So when PacMan is working out, he's getting his cardio in, he's getting his weights in, or he's getting in that zone to face his opponent. What are some songs that you play to get yourself into that zone, or to knock out that cardio or knock out that workout?
It's one called Game Over. I don't remember the artist's name. I think it's Flip something. Lil Flip.
It's
That's one.
Oh, Lil Flip. Yeah, okay. My bad.
Yeah. Game Over. PacMan Fever. It's an old song from the 50s. Don't know why, but that really gets me in the zone. Honestly, just wrestling theme songs. I start jamming out to everything under the sun.
Okay. Yeah, when I used to go to the gym, I used to when I used to go a lot regularly, I had pretty much anything on my playlist, even wrestling songs. At one point I used to work out to Roppongi 3K's theme song when it first came out. Nice. That was a best. Yeah. And then you had the Gorillas of Destiny. They had I forgot. I think the guy's name was No Name Tim that made it, but it started with the Gorillas of Destiny have landed. Then you hear a gunshot, and it's this really cool song. And I was when I first heard it, I'm like, oh, found my next gym song. Add it to the playlist.
Oh, dude, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's a bop. It goes hard.
And then of course I have the classics like Eminem, Till I Collapse. That's definitely one I have to have on my playlist. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Rob. 'Cause I know Rob has a couple questions for you. If you're a Marvel or DC nerd, be prepared. He's gonna have like 101 questions for you. But Rob, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Remy. So what's going on, Pat, man? How you doing today?
Good, man. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm well. I'm just chilling. Doing this interview, having a blast, man. Man, those belts, man, they keep shining and blinding me, man. Like, are you able to? How are you able to hold them up, man? Because I rest
The
sometimes.
shoulders are getting tired. Their shoulders are
Yeah,
getting tired. The gear bag weighs more than I do now, so.
I feel you, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I work for 1CW and stuff, man. I'll grab the women's championship, just like hold it, like like going red, like, oh man, I might have a hernia. You know what I mean? Like I'm in my 40s. I don't know if I can be lifting this stuff up, man. Jeez. So man, I was when you were talking to Remy, you were listing your favorite wrestlers, and you said Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, man. Like I had to write that down because if my mom watches this, yeah, she usually watches sometimes, but she watches this, she's gonna pop because that was her favorite wrestler growing up. Back in the '70s as a kid, him and Justin in the Junkyard Dog, yeah. 'Cause my mom, yeah, there was no Ricky the Steamboat disrespect in that household growing up, in the household, So what was it about Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, man? That was it the technical ability, just like the smoothness of his moves, what was it?
Just everything. He was just so sound in everything he did.
Hmm.
Like obviously, like the match I've watched, the most famous one was him and Macho Man WrestleMania 3.
Yeah.
I remember watching that, and I was just like, damn, like he's just good. Like it almost was like flawless, and I was just like, wow. Like him, even almost like him and like Bret Hart, even were just so sound. They were just it was like probably the closest thing to perfection you could have in like a wrestling ring was those two.
Oh yeah. Bret Hart was always great, man. Look, I was growing up and stuff, Bret Hart's in his fame and stuff and all this, and like my neighbor, one of my best friends growing up, he used to like watch wrestling too.
Mm-hmm.
He could not stand Bret Hart. He hated him with a passion. Like I swear, he would act like Bret Hart, like walk up to his mom in the street and spit in her face. Like that's how much he hated them, like Bret Hart. I'm like, yeah, like Bret Hart is like great, you know what I mean? Like, he can't work. I'm like, he can't do. I'm like, yeah, Bret Hart's like the man, you know what I mean? Like, oh no. So basically, he was pro Shawn Michaels. So
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
there you go. There you go. Now, man, yeah, and you're also saying, in high school, man, you used to wear the Bullet Club shirt, man. You got in trouble. Like, what was wrong with the Bullet Club shirt? Maybe I'm like outdated or whatever. Like, was it the design or just saying bullets or whatever?
Yeah, pretty much that.
Okay, I got you. Because I remember when I was a kid, I got in trouble for wearing a shirt. It was a Simpsons shirt, and it had Bart Simpson on there. It said, "Hi, my name is Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you?" And they made me. Like they called my parents up. They act like I like robbed the bank. They were like, oh my God, this child, wearing this. My mom and dad were like, what? You know what I mean? This is like late '80s, early '90s. They're like, what are you talking about? Like really? Okay, we'll have a talk with him. It's like, oh Lord, man. I was like, ugh. So I gotta ask, one of those championships are fairly new, isn't it? You're the new APW champion.
Yes, sir. APW. This is the first like heavyweight world title I've ever held. So it means a lot.
Oh, nice, man. So, man, so how'd you come about winning that, man? How long have you been champ?
I just won it this past Saturday. I had a 45-minute match with Carson Drake.
Woo, man! 45 minutes, man. Like, woo.
Oh, yeah.
Are you still sore today?
Oh, absolutely. Still to this day.
Man. Oh man, yeah, that 45-minute, man. I can't imagine that. I've been around, 30-minute matches. Now I don't think I've done 45 minutes in a match. Like, woo, yeah, man, that's some stuff right there, man. Good job on that.
Thank you.
So you're just like doing something Saturday and stuff. When is your next show coming up? Do you have anything booked this week or anything else this month or?
Yeah, this coming Saturday, I'm wrestling Big Dalton McKenzie for Spot Monkey Promotions in Williamsburg, Ohio.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Main event, Lord Crew and EC3 for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
main
so not
event.
only are you going to get to learn from EC3, you're going to be like, a peer, a coworker, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool, man. Man, isn't it crazy how sometimes life works, you know what I mean? The
Yeah.
person you watch, you know what I mean? Now it's, come full circle, like, oh, man,
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I don't really feel it in the moment, but once I like do it, I look back on it. I'm like, well, it's pretty damn cool, man.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. I get the feeling, too, man. Like, I remember I was ring announcing in one a show and Big Cass come out there. It was like, man, I
Hmm.
was watching this guy. You know what I mean? 7 feet tall, you can't teach that. You know what I mean? I remember like, yeah, but I was professional. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was cool. And then I had ring announce for Enzo and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, it was pretty cool. But I was like, man, I never thought I would be doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of them things, man.
Cass is
So,
very, very big. I've met
oh
him
yeah,
once
yeah.
before, and I went to like shake his hand, and his like whole hand just like engulfed my hand.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Cass is huge, man.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm a normal sized human being. I'm like about 6 feet tall, 160 pounds ish. You know what I mean? I'm pretty
Mhm.
thin. You know what I mean? Shout out to all the thin guys out there. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so you know what I mean? Yeah, he was pretty big, and I was like, man, yeah. He told me he was really 6'9". I was like 6'9", 7 feet. That's the same thing to me, man. He's still like a monster human being. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
oh yeah. So I gotta ask, you're over there in Ohio and stuff, wrestling over there. Where's the farthest you traveled so far for wrestling? Have you gone, Canada, Mexico, or anything yet? Have you gone, East, West Coast?
Yeah, I've been down to Florida a couple times, and most recently been able to go out to Las Vegas a handful of times too, as well. So
Ooh.
that's been really cool. Vegas is really fun.
I was gonna say, what was it like being out in Vegas, man? I've never been there. Is it, the city lights, everything jumping, all day, all night.
Oh yeah, I'm from Ohio, where it's like it's really just woods and hills, and then I went out to Vegas. It's
Hmm.
flat. It's a desert. There's no grass. It's just rocks. But like
Hmm.
the Vegas itself, the strip was really cool. I wrestled for Big Valley Wrestling out there. Been there a handful of times. Great talent, great people, man. It's really cool. It's really cool.
Nice. Did you get to check out any casinos or anything while you were out there?
Oh, I went to all of them.
Oh, you did.
I had just turned 21, so I went to every casino I possibly could.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, for my 21st birthday, I was taken to Atlantic City, and I
Okay.
had a fun night there too, man. So I know how it is, man.
Hmm.
Oh man. Yeah, so when you were going there at the casino, man, I presume they're asking everybody's asking you for ID because that to this day they still ask me that. You know what I mean? Where they
Hmm.
are like
Oh, absolutely. I was like, I don't even think I went like 5 minutes without being in every casino without getting asked for an ID.
I remember at one I was at, they gave me a little wristband. So, like the bouncer, security and all, they would stop asking me, oh, do you got
Hmm.
your ID? Do you got your ID? Every time I go, like, place a bet, or like, yeah, I'm going to go play blackjack or whatever. I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So when you went there, what was your game? Did you do any roulette, blackjack, poker, hit
Uh,
slots?
mostly slots and a little bit of blackjack.
Hmm.
It's just hard
That's
out
cool,
there
man.
because like, all the blackjack tables are full. So when there's more people, obviously it's harder to win. So I just really didn't try my luck at all.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a question on here, man. They want to know, a fan in the van wanted to know, how was the Zucchini Fest in Ohio?
It was awesome. Zucchini Fest is always a good time. I've wrestled there for 3 years in a row now. And the last two, I've wrestled
Mm.
with Party Mike. Me and him are tag team Arcade Hangover. Yeah, man, it's Zucchini Fest is always great. The fans are great. It's a great environment. New Ohio wrestling, fantastic locker room, fantastic people. It's always a blast being up there, man. Absolutely.
Man, did you get your fill of zucchini bread while you were there?
I did not.
Oh man,
I
see, I
really
love
missed
zucchini bread. I love some zucchini bread. I'm not a big fan of zucchinis, but like I had zucchini bread. I was like, man, where has this been all my life? Like for real. Now I got to now you traveling around, been wrestling for a little bit and stuff, and
it.
traveling different promotions, like Las Vegas, Florida, and stuff like that. Do you have any, funny travel stories that have happened along the way? Like, stuff you can shove. Of course, stuff you can share. Like maybe, like when you're going to Florida, did you come across a Bigfoot or something crazy like that down the Everglades or whatever, or out in Vegas, did you see some sand monsters or sand people, So, you know.
Uh, I could go on all night about the stories. Man, there's been
Oh
some
man.
crazy shit has happened. Trying to think of like some that are just like crazy and some that are like funny. We were in Vegas. It was me, Carson Drake, and Savion. We were walking along just on the strip. It was probably like midnight. It wasn't really like super late. And this one guy asked Savion, he was like, "Did you take a picture of me?" He's like, "Let me see your phone. You're taking pictures of me." And then we were just like, "What? Like, what are you talking about? Like, obviously not." And then we realized there was like a scam going on where like if you showed him your phone, he'd take it and run away. And then as soon as me
Mm.
and Carson started walking to catch up to Savion because this random dude was talking to him, like four other people came up and they're like, "All right, we're fine." And then like they left, but they all came like out of like different areas of the street. It was weird. It was like a really
Oh
calculated
wow. Yeah.
crime, or I don't know what it was. But then
Yeah.
there's been plenty of stories. I was at IWA Mid South, and Carson, I don't know what he said or what he did, but there was a fan in like one of them like motorized scooters, and
Hmm.
they went the way the arena is set up is like right next to it. It's a big like apartment complex,
Hmm.
and it got dark at night, and this lady drove away, and then she drove back with like 15 other people, like 15 people on scooters that all lit up. So
Oh
it was like an
wow.
army of people in scooters
The
coming
elderly.
after Carson. Yeah, it
Oh
was insane. I'm trying to not be offensive or anything, but
yeah.
it was crazy just to see like a sea of people on motorized scooters coming at us at a
Oh
really
man.
slow pace.
Yeah, I don't know whether they've been like, afraid or like what to do. But like, man, like I could probably get away from these people, but like, what?
Yeah, I didn't know.
That
I
would
was
be
kind of
like,
just like
I
I was
wouldn't
just
know what
kind
to
of
do.
standing there, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh well, like I didn't know, like I don't know what to do. But there's a million things, man. It's been great. There's been a lot of great memories. So
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, I know I haven't come across, so, older people, coming at me with some scooters, man. That would be funny.
yeah.
I'll definitely try to record it or something. Be like, oh man. Now your nickname's Pac-Man. You're saying played it as a kid. You had the plug and play. Like you had the ones like the red, yellow, blue, red, yellow, white. Yeah, and
Mhm.
are you a gamer? Do you game on anything else? And if so, what are you playing right now? What's your favorite games?
Right now, I play Xbox, and I have like a not a PC, but I have like a laptop that I use just for work and whatnot.
Hmm.
Xbox, I'm pretty cut dry, pretty boring. I play like Grand Theft Auto, Minecraft, nothing like crazy. And then really trying to get into TF2, some Team Fortress 2 on the laptop.
Okay.
I'm trying to get on that lately.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. I play I have an Xbox and my laptop, I got some games on there too.
Mm.
Like on my laptop I got Fire Pro Wrestling. You know what I mean? Because
Oh, nice.
that game is like wild, I can just create my own thing, there's so many wrestlers, Yeah, I might be able to go on and somebody might have created you on there, you never know,
Yeah.
it's like oh, okay, like, and then now hopefully it gets you running my promotion, yeah. But Xbox, yeah, Grand Theft Auto, yeah, I like playing that. I like playing the online on that, man. There's nothing wrong with
Mhm.
that. Go to
Oh,
Cayo
yeah.
Perico, get it like, cool $1 million, start off your day and then,
Mhm.
go kick some butt and do whatever.
Oh yeah, I like starting shit on Xbox. It's my favorite hobby.
Oh man. I remember, I remember getting 360s and stuff like that, PS2 and yeah, playing Call of Duty, going in those lobbies and stuff, man. Woo! Man.
The best was like the Xbox 360. You'd get voice messages from people. That shit got wild fast.
I think they still do with the Xbox One. I've had somebody, send me voice messages and stuff, and then be like, "Oh, okay." Because like
Yeah.
sometimes I was play like I like Call of Duty, but I like playing the zombies part. because
Yeah.
I have bad eyesight and I am horrible at the multiplayer. Like like I'll play with friends
Mhm.
or whatever. And they're like, yo, you need to shoot that person all the way over there. You see him? You see him move? I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't see anything. Like, what are you looking at? And oh, I'm dead. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
People on the team would be like, you suck, man. What are you doing? You need to unalive yourself. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my, it's just a game. Like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna play zombies.
Yeah, it gets. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like actually, this is my favorite game, Mass Effect. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's what I
Yeah.
always play. Yeah, I love playing that. I got it
Mhm.
when it came out, and then I even got the Master Collection. I was like, yeah, let's roll. So yeah, man, Pac-Man. Yeah, yeah. How far have you gotten on Pac-Man? What's the highest level on there? Do you know, or is there is it like infinite?
I know it's not infinite. I know the guy who has the world record got caught cheating, so I don't know how many
Mm,
levels it is, but I know he got busted. The highest I've ever gotten, I've gotten like 50, which is
50.
not.
Okay.
It's like nowhere near the world record, but I feel like it's a respectable like
Yeah, that's a lot.
50's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember watching something. I can't. I remember they said like level 200 or 150, 250 or something.
Mhm.
That starts like start fading in and out or whatever. Starts glitching real bad or whatever. I think I was like,
Mhm.
ooh, okay, yeah, yeah. I don't even think I've made it to 50. And I love I played Pac-Man and I love Miss Pac-Man. So I don't know
Yeah.
if I've ever got to 50 or whatever, but man, that's definitely respectable. I mean, getting up to level 50. Whew,
Oh
all
yeah.
right. Now I gotta ask, so, if you're not playing games or whatever, out, doing your wrestling thing, kicking butt, capturing championships, everywhere you go, what are some new movies and TV shows you're into? Because I'm always trying to find something new, because I'll get stuck watching the same things, like comfort
Mhm.
shows, like I'm watching Archer and What We Do in the Shadows right now. I always watch them, but they got a new season. I'm trying to catch up and stuff like that. So yeah, like what are you watching right now?
Man,
Anything cool?
I'm big into like stand-up comedy. I like a lot of stand-up
Ooh,
comedy.
okay.
Um, I kind of just watch no one specific. I just watch a big mix of people. It's a big
Okay.
comedy guy. I haven't watched too much TV lately. I'm trying to get into comic books. I have like a Deadpool comic book I just bought. I'm trying to get into collecting them, so I'm trying to
Okay,
get
that's
back
pretty
into
cool.
that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Now, with stand-up comedians, have you heard any of Red Fox or anything yet?
Not yet. No.
Oh, yeah, yeah, he's a treat. Like Sanford's son, man. Like, oh, he's real dirty or whatever. I remember my dad, like when I was like 10 or 11, he got me a CD and was like, "Do not tell your mom I got this for you," and stuff. You know what I mean? And him and I would listen to it and all, and he would like say
Yeah.
like the most awful stuff, like the most dirty stuff. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Like, what? Oh man, yeah, Red Fox. He's hilarious though.
Mhm. Okay.
Same with Eddie Murphy. Same with Eddie Murphy. I remember
Yes.
going to school telling Eddie Murphy jokes.
I've watched some of his stuff. I've been watching like just everything, man, from Dave Chappelle to Pete Davidson to just like everybody. I know those are really like super mainstream guys, but I follow a lot of them on TikTok too. So like I'm not good with names, but I'm
Okay,
good with faces. So if like I saw them, I'd be like, yeah, I've seen them before.
that's pretty cool. Look,
Yeah.
fun fact: I almost went on tour with Cat Williams one time.
Oh,
Like I
nice.
was on his tour bus and all. Well, it was because I went. He had a show here in Delaware at the University of Delaware, and a couple buddies of mine were like, "Hey, let's go on up there and stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, let's go." You know what I mean? And we got some tickets. We went up there. He
Mhm.
went and did his show, and afterwards he had like a little meet and greet or whatever. And I remember seeing a line there. It was like, you know what, I'm gonna stand in line here. I drove here. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stand in line. See if I can meet him or whatever. I remember my friends, they went to the car like, man, I don't know, man. Da, da, da. Like, all right, whatever, man. So I'm standing in line, and I remember standing there, and his like manager or whatever was like up in the line and stuff. Came up to me. I don't know why. Maybe he was profiling or something, right? He walked right up to me. He was like, "Hey, man, Cat was wondering if you got the like the good Sheba or whatever. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, the good stuff or whatever." I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Man, this guy's a cop." I was like, "No." I was like, "No. You know what? You walk up to him or whatever, and then talk to him. If he looks over, okay, maybe I'll hook you up." He's like, "All right." That dude turned around, walked over there, went up to Cat, was like, he looked over at me, was like, I was like, hold on. And I went back to my friend's car, did what we had to do, and came back, and he was like, yeah, you want to come on the bus and stuff? I was like, yeah. He had a Dipset chain on and all that. We got pictures with him
Mhm.
holding the chain, and
Dude, that's
I
awesome.
remember I remember the bus started, fired up, and my friends were like, "Oh man, we gotta go," because like they had like I think they had kids or whatever and all. And I remember I just sat right down. I was like, "I'm gonna play PlayStation." And, all right, here. And they're like, "No, we gotta go." I'm like, all right.
Dude, that's amazing.
That was pretty cool.
That's sick. Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin was pretty cool, man. So yeah, man. Before I pass it on back to Remy, man, I want to say, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, coming on chat with us. I definitely had a blast. I wish nothing, positive to happen to you, your career. I hope you start going around the country, collecting more gold. Go overseas, championships over there, and doing your thing, man. I wish you all the positive things happen to you in your career and all that good stuff, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Justin, I just gotta say, man. Same thing Rob said, man. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule. You're a dual champ, so I know you're busy. You're busy planning your game. Your game strategy against your future opponents and whatnot. But we definitely wish you all the best. And I gotta say, man, I'm not just saying this because you're in front of me, but you are hella impressive, man. I saw that highlight reel and I'm like, yo, this
Thank you.
man is on his way. He is definitely gonna go far. And when he makes it, I'm definitely gonna be like, yep, another one that actually worked hard and is getting rewarded and was on our show. So we definitely wish you all the best and we look forward to seeing more great things from you as well. Before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out where your next appearances, purchase, Justin, PacMan, Xavier merchandise,
Mhm.
and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
Thank you. It's Facebook, look up Justin Xavier. It's a picture of me with this championship. Instagram, it'd be MoldBreakerJX. Twitter, I believe it's Justin PacMan X. I'm not on Twitter often. I really got to step up my Twitter game. I've been slacking on that. But yeah, Facebook, Justin Xavier. Instagram, MoldBreakerJX. Bookers, promoters, email me at PacManXavierWrestling@gmail.com. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
So y'all definitely heard. Make sure you follow this man. He's doing a lot of
Thank you.
great things. And cop that Justin Xavier merchandise. There's two Justin Xaviers. Follow both of them. They're both awesome. But when this, get this man's merchandise. If you can't make the shows he's at, that's another way you can support him is by copying the merchandise as well too. That's another way you support indie wrestling is by purchasing the merchandise. And that's where 99% of your AEW and WWE stars come from anyways. So why not support them from the beginning of their journey? If you don't support indie wrestling, Rob Bass is gonna come to your house like Pac-Man, and he's gonna go Pac-Man on all your food. Next thing you know, you come home, you're gonna find a skip rope in your pot. That means Rob done ate all your food and whatnot. So definitely support indie wrestling. It's a great thing to do. AK, I don't know who you are, AK, but thank you for tuning in. Can you guys get Andrew Tate on this podcast? We do not know who Andrew Tate is. That name sounds familiar, but if you could definitely refer us, DM us the link, and we'll definitely hit him up and make it happen like a captain. But thanks for yes, we also welcome suggestions for those of you watching. So if you have somebody that you think should definitely be on our show, by all means hit us up. Justin, I'm serious. Definitely hit up Party Mike. Is Party Mike's his name, right?
Yeah, Party Mike and Jaden Jet.
Party Mike, Jaden Jet, and your brother.
Yeah.
We definitely have them on, man. We also interview referees, so tell your brother, yeah, he does matter. So
Yeah, absolutely.
we definitely like to have him on. But with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. That means it's time for a nap. Maybe not yet, but before I partake in that activity, Rob Bass, the Mel Gibson to my Danny Glover, the Charlie Haas to my Shelton Benjamin, and the Tommy to my Ghost. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out where your next appearances, purchase Rob Bass merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you as well when they want to book you for their shows?
All right, you can find me on Instagram and X at Rob_Base82 and Facebook Rob Base. On September 30th, you can catch me in 1CW. We'll be at Milford, the Milford VFW. It's an outside show. We're right by the water. It's supposed to be a great day. Definitely come on out. This family-friendly show. Bring the kids, family, everything. October 7th, we're doing a charity event. I'm not sure. I'll give you stay tuned. I'll give you the details on that. And then October 14th, we're having our Halloween show. We're back in Selbyville, 1CW, and it's looking to be a great show. So definitely stay tuned and check us out every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com. If you're not in the Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, Jersey, Pennsylvania area, you can go online, DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com, and watch us from there. You can check out, the shows that we have, old shows, current shows, all that stuff. You can be caught up and up to date.
Awesome. Y'all definitely make sure you check out 1CW. They are that damn good. And with that being said, if you want to find me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, but every now and then I do go to a couple of cool places. You can definitely find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Remy Blue. You can also find me on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue. Our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group. We're also on Spotify. And we also have a Teespring store where we sell official Ringside Society merchandise. And we're also on YouTube where we have a lot of cool interviews like this one and many others. All you gotta do is go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society, and once you see that really gorgeous looking dark blue and light blue yin yang sound with the blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. And with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. Thank you very much. We really and truly appreciate it. We're one of the best. I gotta stop saying strive. We're already there. We're one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to, and we're not gonna stop being that. To those of y'all that are gonna listen later on, we get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away. Well, like myself at a Golden Corral and Rob Bass at the Taco Festival, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And we ain't stopping. With that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we're very well. And with everybody and their grandparents and the parents of a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. We're definitely not just any podcast. Hashtag we are not the same. Hey, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for the Nightmare Factory Camp 6, and one time for the mold breaker, Justin PacMan Xavier.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right, we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. We'll be back next month with another impressive guest on another impressive episode. But until then, we just have 4 favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See you all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware. See you, man.
See you guys. Thank you.